Everyone thinks of the BMW M3 as the original 1980s homologation race machine, but it's not. In fact, BMW only made the M3 because Mercedes-Benz made the 190E 2.316, and Mercedes only made the 190 because of fancy Jimmy Carter's sake. Find out more about that and to find out which of these two cars is actually the cooler of the two on this episode of Head to Head. We're here at Jeremy's famed Nürburgring, in the rain, and the sun, and the rain, and the sun, because everything ever heard about the constantly changing weather is true. But the rain makes this the perfect time to talk about the 190E 2.316, because the first ever race on the ground racing was in 1984, in 20 identical 2.316s driven by Formula 1 drivers. The winner was that guy was no one ever heard of, named Ayrton Senna.
The compact 190E was conceived in the late 1970s in reaction to Jimmy Carter's proposed fuel economy standards. To make sure everyone took the baby Benz seriously, it was designed from the outset to win the World Rally Championship. When Mercedes brass found out just how much that was going to cost, they freaked out and banned motorsports altogether. Luckily, the engineers ignored them, and the 2.316 broke 3 world and 9 international speed records. Teams like AMG then campaigned the 190 in touring car championships with secret help from those engineers. All of this did not go over well in Munich, and BMW retaliated with the M3, which was factory-backed from its development to its checkered flag. There was nothing, not even the killer Benz, that could beat it around a racetrack. The engine block came straight from the old 1,000 horsepower Formula 1 car, the head from the M1 supercar. In European form, the 2.3-liter made 195 horsepower, 10 more than the Benz did, and thanks to the car's lighter weight, it beat the Mercedes to 60 by a few tenths. On the all-important Autobahn, though, it was a dead heat. The Mercedes engine was actually designed by Cosworth, and unfortunately the US version was detuned quite a bit, and the cars came fully loaded. The Eurospec 2.316, however, got only what it needed to make it one of the fastest cars on the Autobahn. It cost more than a 6-cylinder S-Class, but it was faster than the V8, and like all Mercedes of the time, it was over-engineered to the point of ridiculousness. Wings, spoilers, and flared fenders don't look all that insane today, but both cars were criticized for being boy racerish back in the day. That criticism is as misguided now as it was then, because every modification done to these cars was purely functional. And all the BMW and Mercedes signage here at the Nürburgring is a direct result of these two cars and their aero modifications, battling it out on the track.
Driving this old Mercedes is a reminder that progress isn't always progress. See, the 190 is 30 years old, and it rides better than a lot of modern cars, and more importantly, it rides better than almost all of them. There is nothing in the AMG warehouse these days that rides like this. Nothing a base C-Class doesn't ride like this. Yeah, things were better than those days. The trade-off for that brake ride means a lot of body motion, so you turn the Mercedes into a corner and won't be like, oh, lean over and take a head before it goes. But it doesn't stop gripping. In fact, the 190's grip around corners and its braking performance is really up to modern standards. This car can really keep up with modern traffic and the best of modern traffic. It's really impressive. And now, we'll talk about the engine. Clearly, this is the Cosworth engine. It sounds unbelievable, that nasally intake conk they love to hear in race cars, mixed with smooth, quiet running. This 4-cylinder never make 4-cylinder noises.
At least none of the bad ones.
Mercedes gets no respect on these roads around Nürburgring, but this M3 is a star. And more than just being a regular M3, it's M3 Sport Evo, which makes it a little different from the untitled Pero. The Sport Evo is the last of the M3s built as a 2.5 liter instead of the 2.3. It's much more hard-focused and track-oriented. It also got much cooler. The M3 made to be racing, of course, and none more so in the Sport Evo. And this engine just pulls and pulls and pulls and pulls. It's not quite, let's say, usable as the Mercedes engine, but even the regular 2.3 liter M3 engine was rough and gruff, and it buzzed and shook the interior around. It's the complete opposite of the Mercedes. But in 2.5 liter format, it was very potent to a very, very fast car. Just knowing that you probably want to live it every day. Is that a problem? No. Hard to believe the M3 and the Mercedes use the same transmission, because that car's shifter is just kinda awful, and this is from the God.
This is Germany at its best, fighting with itself for no reason other than to entertain us. Once Mercedes reinstated factory backing, the competition got even closer, and the cars eventually produced over 230 horsepower on the road and 330 horsepower in race trim. The E30 3 Series is widely regarded as one of the best driver's cars of all time, and the M3 is of course the best of them. Its mission was clear from day one, to beat that pesky Mercedes, and it did it everywhere, except in the showrooms where Mercedes had a slight lead in sales.
So we found ourselves at turn 1 on the Nürburgring Grand Prix circuit. The place for these two cars win head-to-head, racing in daytime races for years. I'm not going to say that the M3 isn't a better race car, and I'm not going to say that the M3 isn't a better driver's car, but I'm going to say that the 190E is a better car than the E30 is. And I'm also going to say that the 2.316 story is cooler than the M3 story, and ultimately, it's the cooler car. In fact, it's so cool I will buy that one when I'm driving home, and a long way, and very well to Syria.